Hi guys, Luis here, estate agent in Central Portugal. Today we are in the region of Alentejo, a little bit south of usually where we are. We're going to see a big homestead with 8 hectares of land, hundreds of olive trees, dozens of fruit trees, and also corks and stone oak trees. We have this habitation behind me for renovation, but it's a legalized one, already connected to electricity also. And for water we do have a persistent spring and this massive well just behind me. So come along with me and let's check it out. And this is our access road. It's a dirt track, I would say about 100 meters to the main road, which is tarred. And of course, here you can already see the electricity poles, which are connected or is connected to the house. And this is our limit. So on the side of the road, we have a drainage ditch, which is a seasonal one. And then I believe you see the fence there. And all to the right, it's our property. The property starts much further than here, which will combine another creek which joins with this one, and that's where the point of the property starts. Because on that side we will always find the creek making that limit to the property. Quite easy to understand using the drone footage. It's quite a big property, 8 hectares. And on this side is that fence that I showed you. And here we pass over that initial creek, and it's where our property starts. Accessible by any vehicle, smaller one, bigger one, no issue there. So the property does have some topology on that right side, where we'll find between 6 and 7 hectares, and on our left side, where we have our home, our house, we do have a plain field, I would say around 1 hectare and a half. It's where we will find mainly our fruit trees and olive, quite beautiful one. And on this right side, we will find corks and oak trees, and it's the source, or at least one of the sources of water. It's a spring one, onto a tank which is here, and then by gravity it feeds everything that you need on this lower end. Okay, just to let you know that there's an access here. I believe you can see the road, which give access to other properties. Continue on in front. That road is our limit. So at the end we will go up, and then it's a perfect straight line meeting that creek, which creates the limit on the left side. Here we will find 3 or 4 mounts, and with some inclination I believe you can easily see. If by any chance, at least I would, if you want to create a proper entry with a proper gate, try to understand the limits of the property quite easily. We do have the surveys for it. The limit of the property is here, okay? So you must allow a neighbor to pass by, not only one, more than one. And from here you could close up and create your own entry, walled in bricks, in stone, the way you want. And it would give access to the neighbors to turn right, which is their rightful passage. Okay, majestic stone oak tree. We have a bunch of those. But I believe this is the more interesting part for our tour today, which is the more plain area for you to understand the house, the fruit trees, the olives, the water system, also, and how it works. Okay, so let's enter on this gate today, but understand that you could close it here. I would, okay, and this would be my passage on the left side, and I will lose, I would say, 100 square meters. Out of the almost 8 hectares, it's virtually nothing. So getting in, again, more or less flat. Immediately on our right, we have the source of, well, not the source of water, but where the water comes into from a spring. We will be there also. And from here we have a big water reservoir, or a tank, also the name, and then it feeds all of this area. The house will be at the end of this access road. Of course, we are in the property, and this is where we'll find our fruit trees and our olives. By the way, most of you should know, at least if you've seen some of my videos, this plant in Portuguese is junco. I don't know the name in English, but where you see this, you have water 365 days out of the year. So we do have persistent water at the moment from a well and from this spring. But let us start just here. And starting also by the fruit trees, we have persimmons. We have 5 or 6 of these. Okay, it's an autumn fruit. So in 3 or 4 months, you'll get plenty of persimmons. And then we have another one there, and then we will find more. We'll also find apples, pears, pomegranates, figs. What else? There are a couple of more. We will look at them along the way. So this is a water reservoir. Of course, it needs some cleaning because the algae took over almost, and there's a lot of frogs jumping around. I believe you can see them, and it's quite a big one. I would say that it has between 6-7 by 5-6 meter across, so it's a big one. And this hose here, it's what brings water to this, which is this one here. So it's a persistent spring, and I've been measuring it, filling a 5-liter jug and making the numbers and understand this is summer, the driest season out of the year. It brings per hour 514 liters of water. Okay? Of course, it's always overflowing. That's why you see this green patch all around, left and right, because again the water keeps on sinking in. Another persimmon just here, and this part here is fenced from that part. Okay, probably they had some animals on one side or the other, that's why they chose to fence this, but we will go out that access gate that we used to enter to go and check the spring at least. Another persimmon. This one I'm not sure if it is one of the blackberries fruit trees, at least. Sorry, there are 3 or 4 of these, but I'm not sure which one it is. Probably it is, but again, I'm not sure. And understand that the property starting here, it's almost a rectangle, it turns left coming up, and it continues on the plain field in that direction till it meets the creek where you see those greener, taller trees at the end. That's the limit, and the 6 hectares continue on in that direction till it curves again, the creek. But we will be at the highest point so you can have an idea, but also with the drone, I believe it will be much easier. And this is of course that greener patch, because the water it's always overflowing. So you do have a good capacity of water here, even to store it, but again it keeps on flowing. You could do more, of course. We will find another water tank close to the house, another reservoir. Let's go in that direction now. So again, our access road. We are not even on the middle, okay? So I believe from there you can see the track, which is the access to the property. And it stretches out till the bigger tree line, which is the limit of the property, and the greener patch close to the reservoir. I was going to tell you, olive trees. We have some hundreds of those, okay? By the way, this is an apple tree. There are a couple of more of these. We have a lot of olives on the property. I don't know if at any given time they wanted to turn this into a commercial property, which is not, by the way, okay, but you could. But yeah, abundant, hundreds of those. There are some water lines, which this is one of them, again being fed by the reservoir that we've seen, and then spreads out irrigation, not to all, but to most trees, olive trees. And here is where we start to see our house. So we have that reservoir, the second one, which is not full at the moment. Usually it should be, no cracks, thick walls, so in good condition, so some cleaning. And you have a plunge pool, or at least a place to cool down, or water to do some irrigation. You can do whatever you want. And about the house, so I will say that we have the main building and then a garage on the side. Let me go back a little bit for you to have an idea. So we have a garage there. These two buildings is the habitation, now registered with 75 square meters. A project which is perfectly legalized, and you can do just a renovation as it is and perfectly live on it. But in the meantime, there was a project approved, or is a project already approved, to expand a little bit the house towards the side of the reservoir, creating a living room just on the side to a glass, using a glass window to the tank, which reaches 120 square meters. Already approved, already paid for, and it had a cost of 12,000 euros, just for you to understand, okay? But it's ready for you to pick it up and basically start to enlarge the house. Also understand that you could go further. So the property is eligible for you to grow this up to 500 square meters. Wanting, if you want to use 200, 150, 300, it's really up to you. Just need to update the project and very well, and do your thing. So this is the second source of water while we are here before going on to the house. It's a massive well, okay, a big one, with the old system that used to have buckets to take water out of the well. And very well, deep well. I'm sure that you see a tunnel there, which is a mine. Why? Because our property will end there on that creek that I showed you. It's a seasonal creek, but you always have the aquifer a little bit higher, so that water, it's what feeds this well here. Not in use for quite a few years, because that spring that I initially showed you, it's what's being used. This is the more recent olive grove. We have a single orange tree there on the middle, I don't know why, but very well, everything else, it's olive trees. And then we will walk on that left side, a little bit across the creek. And yeah, massive, imponent, a lot of character on the property, on the buildings, on the well also. So quite nice. So let us start by going in. A peach tree, by the way. And here it's where we find our garage. Cemented floor, by the way. Outside stones in wall, very thick. And the roof in good shape. It's already a modern one, in concrete beams and terracotta tiles on top. So quite a big space. At the moment not connected to the house, but the project includes that connection. This would be a first room, then a second one with a bathroom, and then kitchen and living area all together. If you want to use it as such, if you want to enlarge it using the project, you will have the dining or living room on the back of the house. A little bit of difference there. On the height, no issue, you do have good height there, but the two buildings, it's only one, but I believe you understand, the two rooms, they do have a difference in height. So joining these two walls, you would have to create a couple of steps over there. And then this part, which indeed is and was an habitation, chimney there. We do have some guests, so don't be scared. We will find some beds, the small ones. So this was the old kitchen. And by the way, the beds are not paying rent. Okay? So, you have the chimney there, if you want to keep it because you like this rustic appeal to it, very well. If not, knock it down and open into a bigger room. And then we have 2 rooms to the back. This is where some of the beds are. I believe you can see them on the main beam over there. And the roof is more or less the same structure. Let me turn you around. There we go. And we do have natural light to this window from where we walked. And we have that middle room, it's even closed there, probably some storage at the old days, on this side. So garage on our right side, we do have, imagine this knocked down, we do have this open big room, new roof again, and the kitchen here. But again, reshape it the way you want. And the roof also new. Do some inspection just to understand if there's any tile which may be broken. Let me come to this corner here, which is here. So that darker room is completely infested with bats, okay? Today I'm not gonna go in, but I believe from here the camera does allow you for it to see. There you go. So big space. Out of the 75 square meters, I believe a 2-bedroom can easily be done, or a 1-bedroom. And they had the idea, the project, which is approved, which if anyone may be interested, please do contact me and I'll be happy to present you the project, is to expand on that direction because our tank or reservoir is here on the back. So they wanted to create a living room there, catching this part here, okay? Could be. But you can change it accordingly to your taste. No issue there. Again, all outside walls are in stone. These ones in the middle are not. So they could easily be knocked down to reshape the house as you want. Same thing goes for windows and doors. You could open, close it, change the shape. No problem at all. And we have our access in the entry just there. So towards the property in this more homey area, you do have a lot of privacy, a good sense of privacy. No one can overlook you at all. We do have some farms there on the back. When turning from the main road, a young couple also lives there, but there's no eye contact between you both, nor even into this part here. You see a lot of sheep, a lot of cows. This is the region Alentejo, okay? So you'll find a lot of those, good neighbors. So yeah, good privacy. Let me walk you more or less to the creek. We have our access there, by the way, okay? And all of these olives perfectly aligned. Let me choose this angle for you to have an idea. And initially they used to have drip irrigation, not in use because they are already mature and growing. They don't need it. And you see them, okay? Pretty much healthy. And where you see that green wall over there is the creek, of course, overgrowing, with some brambles, with some bamboos and other vegetation, but this is our line, which is the creek that will meet the other one and then continue on downstream. Now let's go into this direction. The house, it's there, okay? But let us turn left now. Again, the trees are all aligned. They are easy to maintain like this, of course. A tractor can easily pass in between and plow them. So we turn right here. This is our 90-degree more or less angle where our creek comes and makes our limit. Along this creek, the border is made by a stone wall, which here you can see pieces In front you will see more, like that one, quite beautiful. So imagine with time, of course the priority is the house, in time clearing this and maintain and update that stone wall, quite beautiful. So again, the house is there. Where the house sits, it's a little bit higher than when we stand, so all of this part. We will walk now here, and we've been on this olive grove, which is semi-flat, I would say. So again, this small descent here, which easily a car or a tractor can go in. I believe there's no need for us to check the back of the house. From the drone you could always check that. And here we find massive fig trees. Let us see, how are they? Yeah, happy, still not the time for them. They will turn black. A pomegranate, you'll also find a couple of this. There you go. And yeah, this flat area also quite nice if you want to plant some other trees, or if you need a helping hand to maintain the property, why not adopt a couple of sheep? Okay, they will graze all of this and they will have enough food. And this highest part where the house sits over there, the old olive trees. And here I believe you can more easily see our limit in stone, beautiful stone wall, where the limit is the creek, which is dry, of course. It's a seasonal creek. By the way, there's no floods here, okay, at all. Some other pomegranates. Here the wall collapsed 1 or 2 years ago on this part here, so you'd have to fix this with time, of course. You don't need to rush. I believe we will pass, yeah, this massive pear tree. Pay close attention to the dots. They're fruit, okay? They are pears, completely packed, so quite happy here. It's a massive one. It grew very tall. It's an oldie for sure. Very well, continue on. Again, the left side, this green wall is the limit of the property onto that creek. And here it starts to go up, flattens a little bit. So the angle, it's more or less dissipated here between the two heights. We have our water there, the water reservoir, and our property will turn left. The taller trees are the limit. And more olives, and beautiful ones like this, semi-crooked, quite beautiful, I would say. And here is where the property turns left, where we have the creek, which is here. So here just turns left. We have our fence. So all of this upper area is our property, but we will have to walk around because there's barbed wire there. It's fenced. But yeah, from here you have another angle. Our water reservoir again, frogs jumping again. Yeah, let's just walk around the gate. So today is a hot day. I'm being helped with some big clouds which keep on giving some shade, like now for example. So again, our entry, you can create the corridor to the neighbor and close this part and create your own private entry. So we will now walk to the spring, and afterwards I'll jump into that highest point for you to have an idea of the limit on that side. Now let's walk a little bit to the spring. Again, flat area down there. Then here it's where it starts to go up the other 6 point something hectares. I believe we need to turn right, yeah. There's an inspection box for some maintenance of the line, because the line from the spring to the reservoir, it's buried. But I've seen at least 2 access points to it for any maintenance, any clogging, whatever it may happen. I believe it's here that we have another one. Yeah, there you go. Let us walk just a little bit more. And here we are. So it's not common, but old properties like this, indeed we find these natural springs, which of course come from under, and it starts here. So we have a box here, which is this, some frogs going in, and then from there it's piped into an inspection box, and then it's buried and goes on to the reservoir using gravity, of course. There is some wildlife here on the property, I believe you can notice there, and an opening there. No one said hello so far, but yeah, it looks like it. Very well, so let's jump onto this left side at the upper point, more or less in a straight line from here. And of course, this part, the maintenance is quite simple. Once a year, at least, just pay the local tractor guy and he will come and plow it. Very well, let's jump up there. So I'm now at the highest point of the property, I would say. Basically, I use this access dirt track to reach where I am, ideally with the Jeep, but you don't need it, of course. The access to the main road, as I told you, easy access for any vehicle. And we have some topology on the land. We have some mounts going up and down, this being the landmark just in front of us, and creates a straight line till the very end. Basically, we have a first mount, a second one, it jumps to a third, and then it ends on a creek, which makes all the limit of the property on that valley, which leads us at the very end to the right and then to the house. There, I believe from here we can even see it. Let's see. Yes, we can. And the house is just there at the plain. And of course, this access does give access to other properties. It's not a right of way. Basically, it's between neighbors. And here it turns right and then it shifts away to the right of our property, but our property, it's this straight line again, as I told you. But I'm sure and confident that from the drone footage, you'll have a perfect sense of the shape of the property. So here we'll find spread out both cork trees and stone oak trees, which are these ones. The difference is the cork trees, you do take the cork or the bark of the tree every 9 years, which does give you some income. And these ones, for example, which this is a stone oak tree, they produce those acorns that wildlife do appreciate and also use for flour to feeding animals. And this is it, guys. 8 hectares of land, legalized habitation with 75 square meters, which you could grow, wanting of course, persistent water, electricity already done, and a lot of trees around the property. Very private, so I believe it's an amazing opportunity. So any questions, I'll leave my contact details at the very end of the description of the video. See you next time, bye bye, cheers.